rating, ang lumabas doon na those who feel, yung mga mamamayan natin who feel safer, it was also excellent. And then yung latest, yung sa SWS, yung trust rating at saka yung satisfactory rating, trust rating of the President, satisfactory rating of the administration, parehas, isa is excellent, yung trust rating, and then yung satisfactory rating is very good. So, and the drug campaign is part of that rating. So I would like to say, and I'm happy to report that while we have done so much, well, so much more has to be done. We have made targets. Doon sa ICAD, ang ginawa naming target is to reduce yung barangay affectation by 30% per year. And it's moving smoothly. Although medyo it takes time, gradual, but halos every week may nakli-clear na barangays. In fact, on Friday, I will be going to Urdaneta because of declaration of some Urdaneta, Pangasinan, because of declaration of some barangays doon as drug cleared. And then dito naman sa Davao del Sur, there is now a municipality that is cleared. Municipality na yan. Ang ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga barangays niyan cleared na. And then recently, just 3 weeks ago, we went to Batanes to witness yung declaration ng probinsya as a drug cleared province.
Different connection with the MI.
Yes, well, I'm going to that after this. This afternoon at 2 o'clock at Hotel Elena, there will be a signing of protocol of cooperation with the MILF. And that is a very good manifestation on the part of our brother MNLF members to help in our anti-illegal drug campaign. And yeah, well, we are. There was an offer by the MILF to help in the campaign against illegal drugs in those areas that are affected by the conflict with the MILF. And you know, the law enforcer cannot just enter into those areas that are where they have their presence. So we have to involve them para makasama sa kampanya against illegal drugs in those areas that are considered conflicted areas.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, question and answer portion for General Gapay and Director La Peña. We'll begin with questions for General Gapay, please.
Okay. Ruth Dumandan of RGMA Davao for the first question, then followed by Ayan Melihor of PNA, and okay, later. Sige.
For General Gapay, sir, the karapatan and kilusang mabubukid na Pilipinas question, the holding of the 4 militant leaders for several hours in Lasang checkpoint, in spite daw of showing their IDs, in fact, they considered the action as a form of human rights violation. General, would you like to comment?
Yes, what happened last, it was 7 o'clock in the evening on 28 June, this last Wednesday. It was in a regular checkpoint operations in Lasang. It's one of the gateways to Davao City. Alam niyo naman po, ever since, medyo maigpit yung checkpoints natin, ano? Lalo na yung 3 major checkpoints serving as gateway to Davao City. And yun nga, upon seeing, sensing some, they're reluctant to be subjected to the usual Toro procedures and inspection. So our troops manning that the checkpoint in Lasang at that night sought the assistance of the PNP. So it was a joint checkpoint. So when the PNP continued the inspection, so they noticed that one of the passengers is a subject of has a warrant of arrest in the person of Mr. Carmelito Lao Sr. So upon recognizing one of the passengers, so the PNP invited them for further verification because there's a standing warrant of arrest issued by Judge Dayang Hirang of Branch 32, Regional Trial Court in Lupon, Davao Oriental. So they were invited and with consent for further verification. The three companions were already asked, they may go already, but they opted to accompany Mr. Lao to the PNP station. Then verification process transpired. Then after more than an hour, they were released at about 10 p.m. the same night after having been cleared. Apparently, after verification, the warrant of arrest was already cancelled because it was apparently settled amicably. So the four were released at around 10 p.m. So wala pong arrest na nangyari, wala pong they were not detained. There was no illegal detention. It was an invitation which they consented, and everything was done in accordance with the legal procedures.
Okay, thank you, General. Can I ask, ma'am, DG La Peña?
No.
Okay, sir, the PDEA 11 recommended to the President the inclusion of illegal drugs campaign in the martial law implementation. What's the latest on this?
Well, that's right. Actually, as you have learned, drug money came into play in supporting this yung Maote incident. So necessarily, ang Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, of course, Region 11 is part of it, is getting into it. Sa umpisa pa lang, yung intelligence, intelligence information that we got is drug, terrorism, and narco-politics bundled into one came into play in that incident in Marawi. And we are into it sa effort in operation.
Is it included right now, sir, in the martial law implementation, itong anti-illegal drugs campaign?
Yes, it is included.
Okay.
Of course, we cannot discuss detail here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, related to that illegal drugs, meron pong tanong dito from Alvin Baltazar of Radyo Pilipinas, Malacanang Press Corps. Yung massacre incident sa Bulacan dapat maging eye-opener sa mga critics ni President at ma-realize kung gaano talaga kalala ang problema sa illegal drugs na pilit na nililinis ng administrasyon. This is for Secretary Abella and Director General La Peña.
I defer to PDEA.
Okay, sir.
Please repeat.
The incident, the massacre incident in Bulacan, related to drugs. So, paano daw po, gaano kalala ang problema sa illegal drugs na pilit, actually the President is really cleaning that campaign on drugs.
Yeah, indeed, yung ating problema sa drug is very serious. In fact, when the Duterte Administration assume office, we did not expect that it is this serious. Narinig naman yung presidente natin. When during the campaign period, he's saying 3 to 6 months, ganon. And then when we assume office, then nag-develop na marami yung mga nagsusurrender. Then he asked for another 6 months. But when it reached 1 million, yung surrenderers natin, ganun pala katalamak yan, yung problema natin sa droga. And this is throughout the country. And then yung lumabas na ating situation, there are 48% of the barangays that are affected by drugs. And I would say that it could be even more. Pero based on what yung mga nagsusurrender, then we have 48%. That is 20,000 barangays in the whole country. And kaya nga yung strategy namin ngayon is to go to the barangays and clear it them by one by one. It could take a little while, but that's the way to go. Kasi lahat naman ng mga droga na pinipedal o it's imported or it's manufactured, it goes to the barangays. At sa barangay, hindi makakawala yung information na yan sa mga barangay officials natin. They know what's happening in their barangays. That's why we are enlisting yung tulong ng mga barangay officials natin at the grassroots level sa mga barangay. And we have been telling them that there's no middle ground dito. They have to help. It's either they are with us or they are against us. Hindi kasi, if you are a barangay official, you took oath na you will perform yung duties that goes with the office of being a barangay captain or a barangay official. Kaya pag hindi mo ginawa yon, then you can be liable for neglect or dereliction of duty. In fact, we have filed a case in Cebu against the barangay officials there. That's why there's no middle ground. Pag ikaw barangay official ka, you are supposed to know what's happening in your barangay.
Yeah.
Hindi makakawala yan. Walang, pag sinabing hindi niya alam, mag-resign na lang siya na barangay official kung hindi niya alam kung anong nangyayari sa kanyang barangay.
Okay.
And there's no middle ground.
Thank you so much. Ayan Milihor, PNA.
Good morning. To Secretary Abella, sir. There was an earlier demand from the Mautes to swap the priest. They are still holding, and the parents. This is part of now of the policy that any demands from the Maute or terrorist group is non-negotiable.
We have not entered. Again, let me just reiterate. The government's policy is not to negotiate. And whatever demands made within, in Marawi with whatever negotiating groups, this holds no basis. Okay, let me just read that again. The gravity of the offense of all these terrorists and their supporters is immense, and they will need to be held accountable. Okay. So again, let me reiterate, government's policy is no negotiation.
Sir, was there a call from the religious sector to help to save the priest being hostage by Maute?
So what is your
Was
question?
there a call or a request from the church to save the priest being hostage by
As
Maute?
far as my desk is concerned, we have not received any.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's a question for you, sir. Before Vina Araneta, for Secretary Abella, from Tina Mendez of Philippine Star. If conflict has been classified as a humanitarian crisis that now warrants international help after PRRD sought allies to assist in rebuilding Marawi, can you expound on PRRD's statement also? As troops wrap up our operations in Marawi, I also welcome our international partners into looking forward into rebuilding this city. This invitation extends to our allies who share with us the principles of goodwill and non-interference in our domestic affairs. Also, how long do we expect the rehab and rebuilding to last, sir?
All right. The President's invitation for international partners to aid in rebuilding is not synonymous with humanitarian crisis. We have said in numerous occasions that we welcome foreign assistance in the Marawi situation, especially in the rehab and reconstruction and recovery phase, especially now that the troops are about to liberate the city from lawless elements. However, it is normal for friends and allies to support each other, which need a helping hand. And after all, we have our shared commitment with other countries to combat terrorism and attain sustainable peace. As to when the recovery and rehabilitation would last, the Bangon Marawi plan has a short-term and a long-term timeline depending on the activities involved. So we're not giving any specific dates, but there is a timeline. We have a short and a medium-term short, medium, and long-term timeline? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's another question here. The Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative said new missile shelters and radar and communication facilities were being built on Ferry Cross Mischief and Subic reefs in the Spratlys. The think tank said the construction of military facilities is mostly complete and Beijing could now deploy military assets to the Spratlys anytime. What will the Philippines do about it? Is the country concerned that this will raise tension in the region? Is the government's response to China's activities in the area going to be tempered by the loans and donations the country has been getting from Beijing? From Leila of Inquirer.
Right. Again, on these matters, we defer to S&D, Secretary of National Defense, and DFA. However, we need to iterate the fact that the President has had his approach to the situation, to regional geopolitics, has always been to come into a mutual understanding and mutual and dialogue in order to resolve cases like these. So, regarding those matters, we defer to S&D and to DFA. However, we need to just go back to the fact that the President at this stage has been non-combative and non-adversarial, but has approached regional geopolitics from the point of view of dialogue and mutual understanding and mutual support. Thank you.
Okay, another question here from Vina Araneta of ABS Davao.
To General Gapay and to Secretary Abella. Sir, the AFP has surpassing 605 wounded. Bukod pa po ito doon sa 82 na killed in action. So parang isang batalyon na po yung napapabagsak ng Mauti. So sabi rin po ni General Anyo na yung gerang ito ay makukumpara mo sa gera sa Mosul sa northern Iraq. Your reaction lang po to this. Thank you.
First is the operational environment in Marawi is very different. It's urban setting, and really may advantage talaga yung on the defensive side, because they were able to prepare their positions, they were able to place machine guns, they were able to place snipers, and mobility for the attacking forces is really restricted. So it is because of these reasons that our forces, we have incurred many casualties in the process. Plus, not to mention the challenge being posed by there are civilian hostages in the area. There are civilians trapped in the remaining 4 barangays of Marawi. But slowly but surely, with the capabilities at hand, I guess soon we will be able to clear Marawi of these terrorists.
Follow-up, Vina? For Secretary Abella.
Let me just make several statements and then we can proceed.
Okay. Sir?
I'll just make
okay, sir.
Okay. On the Philippine Trafficking in Persons 2017 ranking, the U.S. State Department, in its annual report entitled Trafficking in Persons TIP 2017, cited the Philippines for maintaining its Tier 1 ranking, meaning the Philippine government has fully met the minimum of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act's standards for the elimination of trafficking. The Philippines was the first and only Southeast Asian nation to have achieved this status. According to the report, the government demonstrated serious and sustained efforts by convincing and punishing more traffickers, identifying more victims through proactive screening procedures, and expanding its efforts to prevent trafficking of Filipino migrant workers. From July 2016 to June 2017, a total of 1,567 victims were served and 44 convictions were secured, putting 44 traffickers behind bars. as the Duterte administration enters its second year today. Rest assured that the well-being of the Filipinos would be of paramount importance, and we will safeguard and protect them from any threat of violence and exploitation through strict implementation of the expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2012. On the analysts saying that the administration's fixation on the war on drugs overshadowed the war on terrorism, let me remind you that as early as August last year, or 1.5 months after PRD assumed the presidency, the president already told the Philippine military to be ready with ISIS and warned that the country would be plagued with the ISIS disease. Let me quote from his speech to his talk to the 1st Infantry Tabak Division of the Philippine Army in Zamboanga del Sur in the 10th of August 2016. And it's mixed, and it says, busy na unta ta pag-atubang ning aning problema na pag-droga, and I see a looming problem. Tanaw na ko within 3 to 7 years from now magka-problema tas ISIS. In some parts of Mindanao may tao nga puti, and I suppose nga mga Arabo na. They're here as missionaries, wala sila armas, but they're into indoctrination. Maunay kahadlukan kay sama sa mga komunista pag humana anog maklear na sila sa lugar, nakita nila maayo musod na ining ilang mga political officers. Kanang may delikado kay ang gina luto ana ang utok, anaay problema diri sa Muslim insurgency, and we must arrest them before dili sila ang atong mga kaigsuon ng muro dili makontaminates ISIS disease. In other words, he made a fine distinction between ISIS and the Muslim communities. And also, he also was pointing it out as of last year that there was indeed that looming danger, except that at that particular stage, it was a stage of indoctrination. However, already it was perceived even during that time. So, just about it. End of statement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, last 3 questions from Raymond Octobre of UNTV. Go.
Soundcheck. To Secretary Abella, sir, good morning. Sir, this coming SONA of our President, it is possible, sir, na sa Marawi po gawin ito. Itong kung possible po, what will be the security measures na gagawin po?
That would be very dramatic. However, I doubt that it will be held there. It's just that the conditions are not at all viable for something as serious as a State of the Nation address. Thank you.
Okay, follow up to that, Secretary. Henry Uri of DZRH is asking, in an interview with General Padilla this morning on DZRH, sinabi niya na irekomenda ng AFP sa Pangulo to defer muna Marawi visit. So nakarating na po sa Pangulo ang rekomendasyon, at ano ang response niya, sir?
He's quite aware of the inconvenience of the situation, and he's taking the necessary precautions. However, the President is really audacious, but at this stage, we do not have any report. Thank you.
Okay, Angie Chagas of Bombo Radio, then Jam of GMA.
Kay Secretary Abella, sir, good morning. May panawagan po ang Mauti kay President Duterte na payagan ng pumagitna ang MILF para matapos na yung kaguluhan sa Marawi City.
Pwede po nilang idaan yan sa OPAP. On the other hand, ang ano po ang guiding light natin ay non-negotiations.
Regarding naman po, Secretary Abella, regarding naman po doon sa rehabilitation po ng Marawi City, may gagawin po ba tayong resurvey doon sa mga residente para naman maiwasan na makabalik yung mga Mauti?
Ma'am, yung ano po, yung mga nangunguna po nito ay alam po nila ang kailangang maharap patungkol doon sa reconstruction ng Marawi, at let us trust that they will be able to do all the necessary processes. Salamat po.
Okay. Kay ano po, Secretary La Peña. So regarding po doon kay sa PDEA po, regarding po doon sa lalagdaan po ng between GRP tsaka MILF doon sa drug campaign, ganun na lang po ba kalaki yung kumpiyansa natin sa MILF para makatulong doon sa kampanya natin?
It's about a common a common interest to address yung ating illegal drug problem. So we welcome any assistance when it comes to that. But we will invite you, our friends from the media, para sa affair mamaya, and then maybe you can ask more questions in detail. Kasi magsasayanan pa mamaya. 2 o'clock, and then after that we can have a press briefing. Yes, sir. There will be safeguards, so, by the way. Actually, kaya we have that protocol of cooperation. So, yung mga andoron, it can be this out after the signing.
Okay, Jam Sisante of GMA, you can use the mic there. Then after that, there's another question here for Secretary Abella. Jam?
For Secretary Abella, sir, you mentioned earlier that there are planned NPA attacks. Can you be specific on what kind of settings or people-oriented projects they are planning to attack based on intel reports, and if there are additional security measures that will be put in place because of these reports?
Unang-una po, we don't have details regarding the planned attacks, no, except that the warning is, well, the announcement is that we should be vigilant, and we should be careful about our surroundings. Patungkol po sa mga makinig po tayo sa mga, lalo na sa mga barangay, makinig po tayo sa mga further directives ng ating mga local authorities. Yun po.
Sir, yung planned attacks, if ever, ba sa rural areas like usual, or meron bang threat to urban areas, urban cities?
Hindi po natin masasabi kung ano po yung mga plano nila, basta't mag-ingat po tayo.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's another one here for your Secretary, Abella. Analysts said the admin's fixation on the war on drugs overshadowed the war on terrorism. What does the palace think of the assessment? How does the government try to balance the two campaigns and make sure that both are adequately addressed?
As I just read, as I just made a statement earlier, as early as August last year, nakita na ng presidente yung mga inherent, yung mga looming dangers dahilan sa mga presensya ng mga ilang mga tao na mukhang ang kanila naman daladala ay hindi bala kundi bala para sa utak, in this or indoctrinating people and trying to bring people into this particular ideology, which is not Muslim, but it is a radical form of extremism. It is kanila pong paniwala ito na ito yung kanilang So ang po natin balik po tayo sa una-una, kailangan po i-address natin ang sitwasyon, and this is the plan really of the president. Na ang whole systems approach po ang presentation ng presidente. Una-una, nakabase itong kung mga may galit o sama ng loob ang mga Muslim, especially in Mindanao, base po ito sa social injustice. Yun po ang kanilang the president recognizes that a major portion of the angst, of the anxiety of the Muslim community, especially in Mindanao, is a sense of having been socially discriminated against and having been victims of social injustice. So yun po, ang sinasabi nga ng presidente, ang solution talaga rito ay, a major solution is federalism. So bigyan pansin po natin yan, na hindi lang po relief ang ating hinaharap, kundi po na masagot po ang initial basic concerns na ating mga kapatirang Muslim na Pilipino. So ang at the end of the day, it's really a whole systems approach of government that will look after economic, social justice, law and order, peace, and also a sense that we all belong to one nation. And again, we would like to address the Filipino nation and say, it's time for us to embrace our being Filipino. Being Filipino is really unique. It is multicultural, multi-religious, and multi-everything. But at the end of the day, we all belong to one nation. And if we could embrace that and see where the president's coming from, where he's coming from is wanting to address social injustice, and it would be of deep and profound help if we all embraced our national identity of being Filipino and decided to make the choice to love the Philippines and all Filipinos alike.
Okay, sir, another follow-up here or question. May update na daw po ba regarding the pagtakas ni Isnilon Hapilon? Last time daw po kasi under verification pa. From Glenn of Brigada News FM National MPC. General Gapay.
Yes, based on the reports coming from the Western Mindanao Command, they're still verifying that report that Isnilon Hapilon has fled. If he has fled Marawi already. So, bine-verify pa po ito as of this moment.
Okay, another question here for General La Peña. Director General La Peña, pakitanong, please, ilan drug suspects killed since the start of the anti-illegal campaign from Joanna Gialagon? Same question din yan from Chona Yu. Same question.
Let me just check my data.
Okay, before that, may we hear the last question from this place? Okay, okay, sige. Ruth.
Sir, I just want to follow up on federalism because many sectors believe that shifting federal form of government is the right move for the government to have the solution of all the problems in the country today, sir. Are there any specific directives of the President as to when the Congress going to tackle or discuss the federalism thing?
Pinapausad na po siya. I cannot give you the exact time. However, it will be acting on. Ang mahalaga lang din po kasi yung maintindihan ng tao kung ano talaga yung federalism. Na makikita nila na ito nga is going to be to our great advantage to the Filipinos and especially to the southern part of Mindanao. But hindi lang po southern part of Mindanao yan, kundi po ito isang kasagutan ng mga ongoing concerns, especially structural concerns ng Pilipino.
Thanks, sir.
General La Peña.
The number of drug personalities who died during anti-drug operations, is that the question? Yes. We have a total of 3,171. Ito yung mga namatay during legitimate drug operations, yung mga lumaban, especially those who are armed and then lumaban sa ating mga law enforcers.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I guess we have no more. Ayan, meron ka pang follow-up? Sige, Ayan Melihor, PNA.
Sir, kay General La Peña, sir, have you tracked connections of the Maute, yung kung kanino sila nakipag-deal sa drug operation anywhere in the country?
You are referring to the indigenous...
Yung mga Maute, sir, they were into drug operation. Have you tracked or checked on the people they were dealing before the Marawi crisis?
Well, we are into investigations right now, and then let's just wait for the result of that investigation.
Saan mga areas kaya nag-check, sir, sa kanilang mga connections? Ano mga areas?
Yeah, again, we have an investigation going on, and then those will be part ng investigation natin.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, follow-up po. Homicides under investigation. May homicide under investigation na pa daw po. And how many suspected of being linked to drugs? Sir La Peña.
Come again, Peng?
Yun daw pong homicides under investigation.
Yeah,
How many suspected of being linked to drugs?
But I cannot give you the number of those homicide under investigations. That's the Philippine National Police. Kasi hindi drug, those are not drug related. We just consolidate mga data on drug related cases.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Sam. Okay, Jam.
For General La Peña, sir, sino na po yung mga big fish na nahuli natin dun sa campaign against drugs? Big time drug traffickers.
Big fish, we have had several operations on mga high mga yung mga high placed high value targets. And then if you have monitored, we have conducted raids dito sa mga yung night spots in Global City, sa Metro Manila, mga they call it yung being visited by high mga high end, mga high well placed mga personalities. And in fact, yung last na raid natin diyan, ang isa sa mga nahuli diyan is a former candidate ng Pilipinas. And yung mga nahuli doon ay marami classic illegal drugs, including ecstasy at saka yung mga party drugs, aside from Shabu.
Okay.
So we are also hitting yung mga matataas na mga targets like those.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, may we hear now from Secretary Abella for his closing statement, sir.
Again, we're looking forward and hopefully a quick cessation of activities in Marawi, of violent activities in Marawi. We're looking forward to the rehabilitation of the area. We're looking forward to that we can move on so that we can proceed with normal flow of events. And among other things is the move towards federalism, to be able to engage and to be able to address social concerns in the area. We also look forward to be more cooperative citizens, and we're looking forward also to the President's report on SONA. Good morning, God bless.
Thank you so much, MPC and our media friends from Davao. And we'll go back now to our main studio, Radyo Pilipinas and PTV. Thank you. Good morning.
Iniimbita po kayo ngayong hapon sa Hotel Elena, alas 2 ng hapon. Meron pong kaganapan doon, PDEA and MI. Magkakaroon po sila ng signing of MOUs ba yan?
G and
we'll see, the General expects to see you there.
thank you so much.